6 ways to detect paranormal activity in a house. Are too many strange occurrences going on in your house? Have you thought now it may be paranormal or a ghost? If so, you have come to the right place. Read on. What is paranormal? Let's first clarify paranormal. It does not always signify spirits or ghosts. It could be other energies at work. It really just suggests an occult situation where what is happening is very unusual and is a mystery to you and to others that experience it. What I first suggest to anyone to do is, as each paranormal incident happens in your house or whoever's house, write it down. A lot of the time it is an energy trying to communicate in some way, and possibly working out how to answer the question may help the entity or energy move on. Ways to detect paranormal activity in a house. Secondly, be strong mentally. Remember the golden rule with paranormal or the occult is fear can only attract bad, so if you be positive your energy will only react as a defense. Another aspect to consider is maybe the paranormal activity is not trying to communicate, maybe more it is just replaying itself like a residual haunting. A common example of this is a light switching on at 8 o'clock every night but nothing else happens, next day same thing happens. Okay, so here are 6 ways to detect paranormal/occult activity in your house. 1. Lights on and off. A common paranormal activity is lights switching on and off. This happens because an energy passes by the light and sucks or drains the electricity from the source temporarily. Occasionally it is an electric fault, so ruling this out is important. An interesting experience happened to me once when I was visiting my sister. Each light in the house switched on one after the other and then backwards in the same sequence, and then the last one flickering. Interestingly, none of the lights were on except the room we were in. Spooky, hey? 2. TV switching channels or turning on and off. TV is another common one. Ever had your TV turn off and then before you turn it back on it switches back on? This is a very common paranormal activity, the TV turning off or changing channels. The theory is that as a paranormal energy passes by it disrupts the on/off frequency. Commonly, most of the time, this paranormal is a spirit. 3. Items moved. This is a frustrating one. You check for your car keys or house keys and they are not there. Then later on, after searching your house, you find them where they were not in the beginning. A lot of people shrug this one off, but it definitely is a paranormal occurrence. The theory with this one is a spirit or intelligent energy is delaying your day for a reason. It may be a foretold car accident or something similar. Some people refer to this action as being looked after by an angel, who likes you, while others say it is just a mischievous spirit. Maybe when this happens next time it may be because of a reason. 4. Car not starting. This is another common one. The car will not start and then the next day before you decide to get it towed to get fixed, it starts for some reason. In a way like the car knew it was about to be towed to a mechanic's. A lot of the time this could be a coincidence and a standard mechanical fault, however if it happens in certain patterns chances are it is paranormal. I have a friend who has a spirit in his car. It was a good spirit, and if at any time his car would not start, all he did was talk to the car and the spirit, and then 5 minutes later the car would start. I am unsure as to why spirits or energies would attach themselves to cars, but it does happen. 5. Doors opening and closing. Hey, that's strange. How did that door open or how did that door close? This is probably the most easily confused one, as doors could open or close with the wind. However, when there's no breeze that day and it happens, it indicates something different. Doors are easily pushed, and if you have a spirit in the house they can be moved lightly with their spirit passing by. This one really needs due time of trial and error to work out if it is paranormal. Make sure to check for breezes even from the floor and close all external doors and windows to see if it still happens. 6. Voices and footsteps. These two are probably the most spooky of the lot and are massive signs. The first one being voices is interesting. Try to record the voices. It may sound like hard to hear whispers, but on a recorder you can turn it up to work out what may be the spirit or paranormal energy is saying. The second one, footsteps, is a spooky one also. Basically said, this is a common one when sleeping. Waking up to footsteps. You go to investigate but there is nothing there. With this one it could keep recurring until you are certain there is something going on. This happened to me in a haunted house I lived in Dorgo when I was younger. Footsteps were very common and sometimes even the footsteps could be heard outside my room and then stop at my door. This was a nightly haunt, so every night it was the same. Footsteps and a bad smell of a sweaty older man. I have more to say on this haunt but will include it in a future post as there is a lot of detail. Ways to detect paranormal doors in a house. Overall, paranormal is real. There are many other ways to tell as well. These 6 ways are some of the standard ones I find in any paranormal haunting situation. In other extreme situations, it could be moving objects, doors slamming, seeing an apparition, or even being physically abused by the spirit or entity. These ones I refer to as upset energies. They are not common, however, if you do come across one in your life, be cautious and be wise on handling. It is important to remember that to some spirits or energies, they may be upset or angry because they want you out of their house.